Today at 1, did the government serve the public well or did it fail them? The findings of the COVID inquiry are set to be published. We'll ask what's been learned and what the outcomes could be for those who got it wrong, also on the programme. So, welcome to the BBC News at 1. The public inquiry into the COVID pandemic will this afternoon publish its findings into the government's response, including the role of ministers and senior civil servants. It will offer its assessment on the unprecedented use of lockdowns to control the spread of the disease from March 2020. More than 160 people have given evidence, including the former Prime Minister, Boris Johnson. Our health reporter, Jim Reid, has more. Our correspondent Ellie Price is outside the inquiry in central London. Ellie, the evidence has been heard. What could the fallout be for those who were making those enormous decisions at what was an extraordinary time? Senior Pentagon officials are expected to meet President Zelensky in Ukraine for discussions that will include President Trump's efforts to end the war. Unconfirmed media reports say US and Russian envoys have drawn up a set of proposals for restarting negotiations between Kyiv and Moscow, requiring Ukraine to make sweeping concessions, including surrendering the eastern Donbass region and limiting the size of its military. Our defence correspondent Jonathan Beale, the UK Health Security Agency has also issued cold health alerts for England until Saturday, saying there could be significant impacts on the elderly and people with health conditions. Our reporter Alison Freeman is in Pickering in North Yorkshire, which is under an amber weather warning for snow. We can see the snow is falling behind you, Alison. How are people there faring? President Trump says he signed a bill ordering the release of all files related to the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The bill requires the Justice Department to release information from its investigation within 30 days. Our correspondent Bernda Boosman is in Washington for us. Bernda, 3 people have been charged by police in connection with an investigation into the alleged mishandling of cremated remains and suspected funeral plan fraud in Dumbarton and Glasgow. Now, one of the most eagerly anticipated Ashes series between England and holders Australia gets underway in the early hours of tomorrow morning. The tourists have failed to win Down Under since 2011. And Captain Ben Stokes believes now is the time to make history. Our sports editor Dan Roan reports from Perth into how the government responded. Just under 227,000 people died in the UK with COVID-19 between March 2020 and May 2023. And this afternoon, the inquiry will report on the political decision-making during the pandemic, including the unprecedented use of lockdowns, if they were reasonable, and whether ministers adequately considered the effects of closing businesses and closing schools. More than 160 people have given evidence to the inquiry, including current and former politicians, public health experts and representatives of bereaved families. Our correspondent, Ellie Price, has more. Fascinating to hear the stories behind the trials. Let's check in with the weather, and it's Elizabeth today. Hi there.
Hi.
Rob would have loved that. That's it from us at the News at 1. Bye-bye.